NHL Round 1 Stanley Cup Playoffs here on PuckTime WagerTalk TV. It's Tuesday, April the 28th. Let's talk hockey here. Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, Lawrence Pressman. Look forward to going over these games today, of course, as we always do. I'm sure we'll have some discussion about the previous games, about the previous night, but of course, we'll keep our attention on the 3 games going on tonight. And of course, we've got elimination games as well, which are always fun to talk about as we are approaching the later part of round number 1. Carm, it was one and done for me yesterday. We had Vegas first period, 20 minutes, no staying up for double overtime. I was happy to avoid the stress. And we did cash the player prop once again on PuckTime. So nice to have that. Mitch Marner doing me a favor, getting the job done. And we move on to today. I got a great special I'll mention here in a little while for you guys. But Carm will bring you in, man. Another wild night of the NHL.
Yes, and the Wild are playing tonight, so it'll be another wild night. But a couple of good games last night. Pittsburgh, they have life, man. They're going back to Philadelphia, and all the pressure's on Philadelphia now at this point, because they do not want to lose at home and have to return back to Pittsburgh. But this is such a scrappy. Such a scrappy series, Andrew. Like, all these games just seem so close. What a shame! I had over 5.5 in that game. I had 24 minutes to get it. No empty net goal. No nothing. Sidney Crosby hits the post twice with an empty net. Come on, Sid. He's on my shelf. He might be on a timeout. I might have to turn him around. So after we go to Prez, if he's backwards, you'll know why I put him on a timeout. But
not one, but two. Man. Like, the diving one too was so good. He got to get that for you.
Yeah, Sabres and Bruins. We'll see if the Sabres can close it out. Minus 1,400 to win the series right now. If you like the Bruins, plus 800. Minnesota and Dallas, of course, and Anaheim and Edmonton. Who would have thought on elimination night it would be the Oilers looking down the barrel of a gun, Andrew? But that's where we are. Prez,
my man.
There he is.
Welcome to the show.
7-3. 7-3 in the playoffs, kicking ass. I am on my we guys at the end, when I get to promote, I need at least 7 minutes to run through my streaks. Like I mean, and I'm condensing them. I will give you the Cole's Notes version. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think there's a new term for Cole's
Notes.
Yeah, that one. I will give that out a little later. But I want to talk about the Edmonton Oilers for a second. May I? Because I've been waiting to come on the show.
Prez, how about we get your game breakdown, then we'll collectively
Done. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on being in charge more. I'm working on that, Prez.
Yeah.
Well, you just kind of bent over backwards there, so I wouldn't say that's in charge. Yeah. I would have said no. Break down the Sabres and Bruins game and get that guy.
No, he did it very well, anyway. Carm. Let's move on. Okay, Buffalo playing Boston tonight, minus 168. And guys, I think Buffalo gets it done. I think they get it done in regulation, which is roughly even money, around minus 110. Look, this Buffalo team, they have outshot everything Boston since the start of the series. Even the game that they lost, they carried the play, and they went 0-5 on the power play. The most incredible thing, guys, they have yet to score a power play goal. Not this series, but in their last 9 games. They are 10, 12, 15, 19, 29, 32 power plays, and they haven't put in a goal. Wait, I'm wrong. All 10 out of 5. They're 0 for 37 on the power play, and all they're doing is winning. This is a team that once they get that going should be able to dominate teams. They won 6-1 against Boston last game. If this game was in Boston, I would be like, okay, there's a potential opportunity here for Boston to make a comeback, maybe go into Buffalo with their sphincters tight in game 6. But this is game 5. Buffalo is not sitting here with tight sphincter problems. They've got 3 games to close this out. They should be very loose tonight. They're going to have an unbelievable reception at home. And their goaltending. I mean, are you kidding me? They allowed Boston to put up 1 goal in their last 2 games. This Buffalo team is for real, and Boston was lucky just to get into the playoffs. I'm not overthinking this. I think Buffalo wins this game going away. I think they win it in regulation. I think they win it by more than 2 goals, so you could get a little bit on the puck line. And I think that they don't need their power play, which is really crazy. I mean, honestly, guys, 0-37.
Yeah, it is. We're seeing teams struggle there. It's not just one.
How about Vegas last night? They couldn't even get into the Vegas. Yeah, sorry, go on, Carl.
But with that said, okay, off the and I'm not making a point for taking the Bruins tonight at all. I'm looking at the total here. Marco Sturm talks about how embarrassed the team should be. Nobody showed up. It wasn't Swayman's fault. Swayman was angry after he got pulled. You would think collectively, if the team had any heart, they play one of their best games of the series or toughest games of the series. And they haven't solved Alex Lyon. He's come in 2 unbelievable games.
Yeah,
he has had for them. And sometimes when a goalie picks up some steam, it is a dangerous thing. He gets in shooters' heads. So would you take the under in this game, even though it's an elimination game?
Definitely not, Carmine. I would not take the under in this game. These elimination games, I think they're tough for unders, to be honest with you. I would look to take the over in this game, actually. But let me just address a couple of these amazing people who take time out of their day to sit with us while we're live on air. Pocket Surprise writes, Prez, Buffalo has done so good against Boston by default, not their true capabilities. Boston is just not trying. There's a difference. Well, am I wrong here? Buffalo was the second best team in the Eastern Conference, and I think in the top 5 in the entire league. So I would suggest that their capabilities were made during the regular season and not in the last 4 games. Number 1. Number 2, Boston is not trying. Like, they're just like, what does that mean? That Pasternak is like, I need to skate super fast to that puck, but wait, I got to remember I'm not trying, so I'm going to slow down while I get to that puck. I don't even know what that means. David Silver, Prez, easy Prez, Boston will show up tonight. I agree. Full disclosure, Boston will be in the building tonight against Buffalo, 100%. And in regards to Carmine, do I think that Jeremy Swayman will have a good game because he was pulled? Look, pulling the goalie is an addictive thing. Bada-bim! Bada-boom! Okay. I think they show up, Carm, but I still don't think it matters. I think this Buffalo team is light years better.
My numbers indicate here, guys, that Buffalo leads the NHL playoffs with 10.5 high danger shots on goal per game. And so when I look at this series, the way I look at it is Boston does not want to play first to 4, first to 5 wins. The second that somebody tells Boston this is going to be a high scoring game, they're screwed. And Carm, you mentioned about the under. That's my fear, is that when I try and build a case for the Boston Bruins, it's first period, maybe it's Swayman on saves, it's unders on stuff for Buffalo. But I think a lot would have to go wrong for Buffalo more than a lot would have to go right for Boston. I think that there's only so many ways that the Bruins could win. If you told me tonight that this game was 5-3, I would say 100% Buffalo wins that game. I don't think
I would say who got the 3? Nobody. I don't think Boston. I think 5-2.
Well, you get my point.
Right.
Yes. Can somebody explain VP?
I'll go with 4-1. So
4-1.
It's okay. We're not worried about that stuff. I'll go with 4-1. I think I like the under mainly because of the fact that the Sabres power play isn't working. If they get up by a couple of goals, they just grind you into the ice, with kind of like what Carolina's doing, but not as good as Carolina's doing. And the Bruins don't have any secondary scoring, so you shut down that first line of whether it's Pasta, Zaka. They've got nothing after that. It just seems like they're just not scoring. So it's one of those ones where they had a chance. They definitely had a chance to win both games in Buffalo and take a stranglehold on the series, and they didn't. Yeah. And now they're going to pay for it. Speaking of teams paying for it, why don't we quickly talk while you're here, Prez, before you promote for 32 minutes? The Vegas Golden Knights, the Anaheim Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers. Andrew, let's get the odds up on the screen if we can.
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about this game, guys. I'm going to leave this game to you guys. What I want to talk about is that if Edmonton loses tonight, and I am Connor McDavid, there is zero, not 1%, zero chance I ever put an Oiler jersey on again. This Oilers senior management should be so ashamed of themselves. They made it to the Stanley Cup Game 7 2 years in a row. They lost both because they couldn't find goaltending. And their answer on the third year without goaltending, their answer is to enter the playoffs with Connor frickin' who the hell and Tristan yesterday's news. What the hell was this team thinking? Stan Bowman and you guys should be ashamed of yourself. You have the best hockey player in the world. You have a top 2-3 goal scorer currently in the world. You have the number one goal scoring defenseman in the last 10 years. This team is primed and ready to go, and all you do is screw it up because you can't find a goaltender. What was wrong with Stolarz? Why couldn't you trade for him? I mean, I'm not saying he's some incredible goalie, but Jesus, man, there's a backup goalie in Montreal better than both of your goalies. Freaking Martin Brodeur in his 60s is better than both of your goalies.
All right.
Carm, I'm just mad.
I think we agree with you, Prez.
All right. Okay.
We agree that the issue, I will tell
I'm
you,
so
I
mad.
think that I'm going to be thinking back to this when I'm your guys' age and McDavid's won maybe one cup, if not none, and thinking, why the hell did the management screw him over? That's the problem. But look, let's move on to this game. And
Prez, what do you got to promote on $5 Customer Appreciation Day over at WagerTalk?
Okay, I appreciate. Sorry, I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've just been so bothered by it. Okay, guys, I'm honestly like rolling at a level that, I mean, you have these, and Carm, you and Andrew can attest to it. You have runs like these maybe twice a year, where every day you're winning. So to give you guys perspective, I am 17-7 in the NBA and NHL playoffs. 17-7. I'm 7-3 in the NHL playoffs. I'm 10-4 in the NBA playoffs. My total, I have a 4% NHL total tonight. I love that. I am on a huge run in these totals. 19-5, 12-1 and 19-5 run in these NHL totals. I have one NHL total up tonight. It's a 4% best bet. I have one NBA up tonight. There's an incredible promo package inside. It's only $5. Go get it, everybody. There you go. I'm always good with a timer. Oh, wait, 29 more seconds. I'll do my NBA. Thanks for having me, boys.
Not bad.
I'm so mad at Edmonton.
All right. He's out of here.
Prez. 7-3 playoffs for the Prez. I don't know what we're doing here, guys, but
I'm getting rid of everybody. Everyone. I'm clearing it out. Clearing the house. All right.
See, Karma, next time you do a 6 and 60, I'm going to make a timer for you as well. Man of many talents, that's for sure. All right, well, look, Prez just said the sky is blue and grass is green and the Oilers need goaltending. We all agree with that. I think nobody's going to argue that by any means. But Carm, people are here to talk about today's games, which you already tried to get out of us. So let's try and do it again. Today's game. Look, 3-1 series lead. Oilers, heavy favorites here in this one. I mentioned it. I'll mention it again. 5% loss for me on the over 3.5 for them. The crazy thing is they've still managed to score 15 goals in this series so far, and they are down 3-1 in the series. 15 goals they've scored. You know, and you look at some of the other series where if you even scored 9 goals, you could be leading in those series. So you have, I believe, in front of you right now, the number for the full series. Let's talk about that and then how we approach Game 5.
Yeah, so obviously Oilers are backs up or against the wall. It's an elimination game, so they have to win this game. Now, it's just interesting because when you look at like some of the series odds, talk about giving Anaheim a little disrespect and respecting Edmonton a little too much. And I'm saying this just because of the way the series has played out. But the Ducks are minus 425 to close it out tonight. Minus 425 to win the series. The Edmonton Oilers are plus 330 to win the series. There are some teams up 3-1 in the series, and I get it. The Sabres are playing at home, completely different. But the Sabres are minus 1,400 to win the series, up 3-1 against Boston. Is the allure, Andrew, of the fact that, hey, it's the Edmonton Oilers. There's no way they're going to get upset in the first round. They have to bounce back. This is a must-win spot. Their goaltending just hasn't been there. It defensively, it just seems they're incapable of playing a 3-2 game. Every game has had 7 goals or more in this series.
Yeah.
And you know, it's 7s pretty much across the board. There's some really juiced 6.5s, but I never recommend those. But if you're going to play, you have to play the over again. As much as I hate to say it, because it's the square play. It's how do you lay $1.71 with the Oilers? I can't do that, and it's mainly because it's not that they're not the better team. It's not that they have the advantage because they're at home tonight. It's because they have had advantages throughout this series and haven't been able to actually do anything with them. It is like rinse and repeat in this series. And they struggled against LA in a couple of those series over the last 4 years and came back and won it. Can they replicate it against this Ducks team? They have to win tonight. And then the pressure becomes, something that's on the Ducks going home for Game 6, Andrew. And can they win at home and avoid a Game 7? But just the way the series is playing out, it's hard to imagine that the Ducks don't win one of the next 3 games. It really does. It just, I have the Oilers to win the series, win the first game, win the series. So I want them to win the series, but you have to realize at some point that this series isn't going the way Oiler fans thought it would. If you like the Oilers to win tonight, then I would probably sprinkle a little bit on the series price at plus 330 and look to cash a plus money ticket, because if they go to Anaheim and then return home, at home, they're going to be about minus 180 in Game 7.
Well,
you'd be holding a plus 330 ticket instead.
Yeah, exactly. If you like them tonight, it's probably worth looking at. That's for sure. And that controversial goal, which shouldn't even be that controversial, Carm, it took away from the poor defense and the poor goaltending of the Oilers on that play. Now, there's no excuses here, but Connor McDavid is certainly injured. Draisaitl rested up for a few months. He got healthy, and now McDavid's injured. So you got the most, I would argue, and I would debate anybody on this. This might be one of the best Oilers teams they've actually had the last few years. And now their captain's injured. But as I've continuously stated, I couldn't have been more wrong about this matchup because the Ducks are like a younger version of the Oilers. This is the only series, to Carmine's point, that has had 7 or more goals in every game so far. And this probably isn't the hottest take by any means here, Carm, but I don't think that the Oilers win tonight if they're going goal for goal again with the Ducks. Like, this has to be an anomaly. This has to be a game that we see defense. And yeah, I sound like a madman looking for any type of defense when it comes to this series. I really do. But what I'm going to do, Carm, a little bit of chalk, but not as bad really as you'd look at it with the money line here. I'm going to take Anaheim under 3.5 goals. Let's see if we can have some type of dogfight. Let's see if we can have any type of tension, of pressure, of neutral zone clog up, any type of elimination game style playoff hockey here, and not pond hockey where you're playing with nets that are like soccer nets, because that's how easily these guys are scoring. So I'm going to look for the under 3.5 goals for Anaheim. And if the Oilers don't win that, then that's their own issue. But I'm going to look for defense in this one, and wish me luck.
Okay. Luck. There you go. I wished you luck. Andrew, listen, it just seems the way some of these series are going right now that the worlds are aligning for the Buffalo Sabres to win the Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Montreal and Tampa Bay possibly going 7 games. We know they're going to go at least 6, likely going to go 7, beat each other up. Hopefully the Sabres close it out tonight, get a little bit of rest on that team. And then whoever wins the Philly-Pittsburgh series takes on the Canes and hopefully can wear them down a little bit. But I'm telling you, the stars are aligning. The Edmonton Oilers could be eliminated tonight. You know who can't be eliminated tonight? Either player from Minnesota or Dallas, Andrew. Let's talk Wild and Stars. Minus 131 on the Stars, plus 108 on the Wild. I've made some money on the Stars in this series. I think I've bet them in games 2, 3, and 4, Andrew, of this series. And I really thought they should have won game 4, but I digress. How are you playing this one?
Sorry, Carm, I got to pull the Prez here and just answer a quick question. Why pigeonhole yourself into team totals? And Danny, my answer to that is a lot of the time I like to just worry about one team. You know, if anybody wants to bet unders in elimination games, I say you bet the team you think's going to lose, team total under. That way you don't have to worry about it, things like that. So anyway, I like those team totals. You worry about just one team. Minnesota and Dallas here, Carm. Obviously, we saw a split in both venues. We saw 1-1, then 1-1, except for it was Dallas, Minnesota. Excuse me, Minnesota, Dallas, Dallas, Minnesota. And I'm going to go, as far as this streak is concerned, Minnesota, Minnesota. I'm going to take the Wild here to get the job done on the road. At plus 108, plus 110. You can sign me up for that. One thing about this Dallas Stars team that not a lot of people are well aware of right now, I believe it's close to like 65, 70% of their goals have been on the power play, Carm. This team is struggling 5-on-5. Minnesota has some of the most 5-on-5 goals throughout the entire playoffs so far. Minnesota, known for being a great power play team, has not been reliant on their power play like the Dallas Stars are. I like how they're playing right now. I think this team actually has depth. And look, I like the Dallas Stars, but I think this is going to be one of those duels between Ottinger and the defensive core, of course, also the goaltending for Minnesota. But I'm going to back the dog. So those of you guys that say that I love home ice advantage, I don't always take the home team. I think Mini takes it tonight, Carm.
Okay, we're mano a mano. You're on Mini. I'm going to be on Dallas in this one, Andrew. It's mainly because I think Dallas is starting to take this series over, despite the loss in Game 4 against Minnesota. They've been playing much better as a team. They got embarrassed in that first game. They weren't ready to go 6-1. Ever since then, the analytics seem to be rising in their favor. Everything seems to be shifting towards them. This is such a pivotal game, of course. It's an understatement. But the Stars win tonight, they're going to win the series. It's going to be very hard for Minnesota to go back home, win one, and then come back. Although, anything can happen in a Game 7. The series price on this is absolutely ridiculous. It's unbettable. It's unbettable because you have the Stars at minus 125 and you have the Wild at even money to win the series. You might as well just take the Stars tonight if you think they're going to win the series, as opposed to losing tonight. I would lay the extra 6 cents in juice. Paying 125 to win a series where you still have to win 2 games, and one of the games your team is favored by by about $1.30 is one of the dumbest bets you can likely make, is if you're taking the series price. So I'm not sure if you agree or disagree with that, Dan, but that's how I'm looking at this one. I like the Stars. I think Ottinger got embarrassed in that first game. I think they played well in front of them. I think there's more of a commitment to playing some D first and trying to grind this Minnesota team down. Unfortunately, we saw this with Minnesota last season. I believe they won 2 of the first 3 games against the Vegas Golden Knights, and then Vegas just ground them. Those hits, the body checks, it all adds up in games 5 and 6 and 7. You start to feel that pain, and they felt it. I think they lost 3 straight games to the Vegas Golden Knights, not scoring more than 2 in any of them and getting eliminated in that series. So I think it's the same thing here. Dallas has been one of the best teams all season long, and that's only because we're only using the one of the best as opposed to the best team all season long, because the Avalanche, Andrew, have played their eyeballs out. The Avalanche team is just playing some insane hockey, and it's going to take a lot to beat them, but never say never.
No, I get it. Look, I just pulled up the facts from my last comment there. Dallas has 11 goals on the playoffs. 3 of those goals have come 5-on-5. The Wild, as far as their 5-on-5 numbers are concerned, they have scored 14 goals total. 11 of them have come 5-on-5. In a world full of power plays, you can't rely on them, because just ask the Ottawa Senators how that goes for them. If your power play is not rolling, then all of a sudden you go dry a bit. 11 of their 14 for Wild, 5-on-5. To me, that's good. And you know what's funny is Minnesota throughout the season, they relied heavily on their power play, and now they're scoring 5-on-5. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah. Andrew, it's funny because you're mentioning like power plays and such, and it brings me back to a thought of the very first game that the Prez talked about. You know what I mean? Like, as a Sabres fan, every season is the same. You just don't get your hopes up high, and you don't get disappointed. I like to watch the games. If they win, great. If they lose, so be it. My favorite team is always the one I have money on, and the ones I release to my clients. So that's all that matters as far as that goes. But Andrew, it's the sense of watching the Sabres team, and they've been doing this since December. And here we are in end of April. And I'm not going to say I'm a non-believer, but I'm still that guy who's like watching from like a, with his 12-year-old niece in a tent, made with a sheet and a thing in front of the TV. Oh my God, what's going to happen next, right? It's just, you expect the shoe to drop or the clock to strike 12. It hasn't for the Sabres. And that brings me to the point of the power play. The power play has been so abysmal this whole, not only in the playoffs, 4 games, but the 3 or 4 or 5 games prior at the end of the season, 0 for 30-something. That what happens when this team finally starts to click on the power play?
That's a good point.
And that's a dangerous thing. So they're getting by with no power play against the Bruins, but against Montreal or Tampa Bay, they're going to need that power play to get them goals. They're going to need that power play to be successful, even if only at 70, 75%. So with that said, Andrew.
Love this comment from Rex. One team managed to finish dead last in the league while still making the playoffs, the Philadelphia Flyers, with their power play. That's true. But now they got Porter Martone. They didn't have him before. He's been pretty fantastic.
Porter Martone better watch it, because next game, I know the Flyers don't want, the Penguins don't want to take penalties, but you know what I mean? Like, he was being Mr. Tough Guy at the end of the game, trying to push around Letang. And I think Letang said to him, if you can read lips, anytime you want to go, right? And Thing just looked kind of surprised and shocked. Letang, even at his age, can throw some blows and has the experience of fighting. So with that said, Andrew, I need a winner, man. That Philadelphia-Pittsburgh game, not scoring a goal in 24 minutes, completely ruined my evening. Give me a winner.
Yeah, you can blame this guy. Oh no, wait, you can blame this guy for that. Carm, yesterday we hit the play, so we got a nice little streak here with the player props going. As I mentioned, we got rid of the parlays and we're doing one and done here. Today's guy is Jack Quinn from your Buffalo Sabres. Jack Quinn, anytime point, -130. Series lead, 3-1 for Buffalo. And this guy's been playing phenomenal hockey, out there special teams a little bit, but 5-on-5, his play has been tremendous. But specifically, Quinn plays much better hockey when he's at home. Yesterday, -140 with Marner to get an assist. Today, it's -130 with Jack Quinn from the Buffalo Sabres. Guys, in the comment section, let me know if you're riding with me. I'd love to give all the shout outs to you guys that are continuously hopping on board for the top plays and for these plays on the show. So Jack Quinn at anytime point. And Carm, I'll take this time. Just mention for all of you guys out there, we've got a great deal for you right now. Anybody interested in hopping on board, we've got a deal where if you buy my CFL, it's Canadian football, $2.99 early bird special, 21 weeks in the whole season, get you set all through the summer, into autumn, into the fall. Lock in the CFL early bird special. You get the rest of my NHL plays for free. Series bets, side bets, prop bets, futures, whatever it is. Every CFL pick, the entire week, we're high volume with CFL. We get sides, totals, and props in that sport as well. So you guys get that, and you're automatically going to get the rest of my NHL package. Quite the deal. Will not be there for too long, but if anybody wants that, head on over to wt.buzz/AM. You're going to see guys talking CFL in a couple months because there's nothing else to bet. I've been betting CFL for over 10 years. This is a sport that I love betting. I find there's value in it. Number one last year and doing pretty well with that over the years. So guys, join right now. CFL season. Get the rest of my NHL absolutely free. No added costs. Carm, over to you.
Yes, head over to Andrew's page and grab his package. Come on, man. I hope you sell a bunch of those. We should really toss in, get Carmine's CFL for free if they pick up that package as well, too. I only release about 6 to 8 plays a season, and they're not for sale. They're for clients only, and they're normally late plays that I add based on information I get from our good CFL insider. So sometimes I will release them late for all access clients. But Andrew, maybe we'll, for the first 10 people that pick up that package of yours, they'll get Carm's CFL as a BOGO add-on. CFL only, not NFL. How's that sound? Melissa and Missy in the office are probably like, this bugger is just making us do more work here.
They're just like, hey, you know what? You've got the World Cup. You stick to your World Cup, man.
Did you mention your $5?
Oh, actually, I appreciate you mentioning that. I did not. $5 customer appreciation. One NBA 4% play. And then we have, of course, an NHL play. It is a side bet. So don't miss out on that. WT.buzz/AM. But that's my main thing. Look, and Hal making jokes in the comments section. But for all the people that say, oh, well, I care about betting. I care about making money. Well, why do you think that so many people bet NFL? Because not a lot of people are great at it. It's one of the hardest things to do. You're good at it. I've made money with props, but the niche markets are also where you can make money. And, it's probably a little bit softer of a market than Monday Night Football in the NFL. So if you guys want to profit on some soft lines, CFL is the way to go for it. But yeah, Carm, $5 Tuesday. It's a good chance to try out Handicapper. Yeah,
listen, the money spends the same way no matter what sport you bet on, as long as you're winning. So that's all that matters. Plus, Hal was betting pre-recorded Chinese ping pong during the pandemic. So what does Hal know? The results were already in. I think he bet the Washington Generals against the Globetrotters every single game on the money line, and that didn't go well either. Listen, one play up in Champions League this afternoon. You can get it for $5. one play up in the NHL tonight, also available for $5. And I'm going to have a deal tomorrow, similar to Andrew's, but with the World Cup and the rest of the NHL season. So didn't have time for it today. Guys, listen, we appreciate all the comments you guys have in there. We have some good fun with you guys. We never take anything the wrong way, so don't worry about it. For myself, Andrew McInnis, and the Prez, this has been Puck Time. We'll see you tomorrow when Brian Leonard steps into the guest chair.